Okay, so that was a fantastic video and excellent introduction into Airbus and what they do and all the exciting projects that are going on. I'm going to hand over now to Rachel from Airbus Recruitment, and she's going to do a presentation for you, and then we'll take some questions. So as it's going through, if you'd like to chat into the chat boxes, I'll keep an eye on your questions that are coming through and then field them to you, Rachel, when she's finished. Okay, so welcome, Rachel. Thank you very much. Over to you.
Brilliant, thank you. So hopefully you enjoyed that video. The idea of that video is that it doesn't just talk about some of our products that are more well known in the marketplace, like some of our aircraft which you've most likely flown somewhere on, but really gives you an idea of what we do as an organisation, what we do as a company, some of the really exciting products that we produce and work on, and what kind of innovative culture that we have of an organisation. So hopefully I gave you a bit of an insight. So I will take you through a presentation now. It is focused primarily on our apprenticeship opportunities, but also telling you a little bit about what Airbus is and what we do in the UK. As Lisa already said, if you have any questions, please write them in the chat box so that we can pick them up at the end, because we really want you to be able to get the most out of this as you can. Obviously it's a webinar, so we're not meeting you face to face, but we still want to have that interaction with you and be able to answer any questions that you might have that might help you in your application or your career with Airbus. So I will begin. Yeah. Okay. So, as I already touched on, Airbus in the UK, we are a huge employer as it is. So we have about 10,000 employees working across the UK. We have two key sites, so the Broughton site based in North Wales, and then the Filton site based in Bristol. And the Broughton plant is mainly manufacturing. So in the UK, we do mainly produce and design the wings, as well as the landing gear and fuel systems. A lot of the design work is done in Filton and the manufacturing sites in Broughton, but there is some manufacturing in Filton also for the A400M, which now comes under Airbus Defence and Space. And just to give you an idea about the size of the Broughton plant, it is huge. I know sometimes when I'm around site, you have to use your car to get around to different factories. And I know on the presentation, it particularly picks out the A350 factory, which, just to give you an idea of size, is bigger than Wembley Stadium. So for those of you who've been there, hopefully gives you a bit of an indication about how huge a site is. And, you know, there are really interesting, exciting technologies to work on as part of our apprentice programme, supporting all the programmes across Broughton and Filton as well. Once the wings are produced in the UK, some of you may have seen, who maybe live locally to Broughton, may have seen the Beluga, one of our most famous planes, fly in to pick up the wings to take them to the final assembly lines, which are based across Europe in Toulouse and Hamburg. And obviously the huge A380 wings are taken by barge. So I know some of you, maybe in the Broughton area, have been stuck behind one of our lorries, transporting those wings across to Central Europe, really, to get them finished at the final assembly line. So it is really exciting what we produce in the UK, but hopefully you can see it's really part of a huge transnational organisation across Europe. So the keyboard has stopped working for a second, sorry. Okay. Perfect. So just to talk about our apprenticeship applications, they are open now. All applications need to be made online at the Airbus Group website. It is quite straightforward as you're going through. Probably the easiest way to find all our apprenticeship positions is to go on the job search function. You can search by UK and then contract type apprentices, and that will bring up every apprenticeship we have on offer in the UK. Just a few really key points. So we will go into the different apprenticeships that we offer in a few minutes across the next few slides, because we offer a variety of apprenticeships. But really, some of the key things, I guess, that makes an apprenticeship with Airbus so good is not just kind of a come in, learn, then leave. You'll see on the screen there some statistics. So 70% of our senior managers started their career as apprentices. And for those of you, and probably the apprentices can touch upon it in a minute, that when you join the organisation, I know this year at our induction we had over 100 apprentices start in Broughton, and it was really nice because the plant manager came across and he explained how his career developed from a craft apprentice right through to running the site up in Broughton. So it is kind of a career for life, and there's a huge variety of roles. I know we had some questions yesterday about what you can do kind of after your apprenticeship, and there's so much opportunity to obviously develop and grow in the role that you've kind of learnt your skill in during your apprenticeship, but also to push yourself to develop. You've probably seen that video earlier on about how we work on different products, different exciting things across different countries, different nationalities. So there's lots of opportunity to also grow and develop yourself. And just to touch upon the closing dates, are really important if you want to make a note of these. So for all our craft positions, the closing date will be the 17th of February February, and for all our undergraduate and sponsored degree and higher apprenticeships, the closing date is the 31st of March. So if you are going to apply, we would say get your application in as soon as possible, because the different stages that we go through, the earlier you get your application in, the more flexibility we have to support you through the next stages of the recruitment process. So we're going to touch on our craft apprenticeships now, and Jim and Eric, who are here today, are both craft apprentices, so hopefully they'll be able to share their experience in a bit more detail when they come on and talk in a couple of minutes. But basically, for the craft apprenticeship, we run 3 key programs. So Aerostructures, Aerosystems, Plant Service Centre. They offer a slightly different variety of career opportunities and areas to work in. Across the site in Broughton. For the craft apprenticeships, we also have some craft apprenticeships available in Filton, working on our A400M programme. So to apply for these, you have to have at least 6 GCSEs, including Maths, English and Science, starting from a grade C. And for the Aerosystems and the Plant Services, you will need a B in Maths. If you are on predicted grades, you can still make your application. We'll accept your predicted grades to bring you through the process, but obviously then we'll just need to make sure you've achieved those grades before you start in September. So you can come through the whole recruitment process, and then we'd obviously just qualify those grades after results day. And just to briefly touch on the selection process, the first stage in the process is obviously making that application online, so please do that if you want to as soon as possible. The next stage would that you'd come to college for a test, which I know one of you guys who've joined it actually sat the test last Saturday. So you come to college, sit a short test, and for the craft we'd also give you a presentation, which would basically take you through the next steps in the recruitment process. Because you can see there, you'd go for a video interview and recruitment day, which I feel like when you're looking at that now can be quite maybe a little bit scary and intimidating, but the video interview just means that you can complete the video, and kind of like I'm speaking to you now from the comfort of, I would say my own home, but also the Careers of Wales office, but you can use your own technology, so you can do this on an iPhone, iPad, computer, and it just saves you having to come to site and the expenses that go with that. So you can complete the video in your own home, upload it. We'll then review it, and then the final stage in that selection activity would be a recruitment day on site, which is quite a fun day. You come to site, usually at the A380 factory, you get a site tour, we do quite a fun group activity just to see how you interact with others, how you work together, and then we also send you away with a nice Airbus goodie bag. And last year, the candidates who came along really enjoyed that day. We had really great feedback, and it became quite competitive at parts of the day because the teams were competing against each other in those group activities. So what I would say, if you are interested in the Craft Apprentice programme, go online, apply, start the recruitment process. I think when we've met candidates before, they can sometimes be a little bit, think it's going to be a really in-depth process, really difficult to get through, but it's really not, and we will support you through every step in the process as well. So just looking at our commercial undergraduate apprenticeships, we have currently 2 different ones available. So the first one, Business Support and Industrialisation, is a business-based apprenticeship, which you will go through a BA Honours in Leadership and Management, and also gain that professional accreditation. So to apply for this one, you have to have a minimum of 2 A-levels at grade B or above. And the benefits of doing the commercial undergraduate apprenticeship is the fact that you'll go to university, you'll get a full degree, but you won't be left with any debt. We'll pay for all your fees, and you'll also receive a regular salary. So the salary is £14,987 currently for the sponsored degree. So not only will you get a salary of just short of £15,000 per year, you'll also get all your course fees paid. You'll also have support during undertaking your degree, and you'll be putting what you learn at university into practice in work. So you're going to be getting the mixture of work experience and also still getting a qualification that you want. Again, with a finance commercial apprenticeship, you'll do an equivalent to a degree level certification, and you'll also complete the CIMA chartership, which is, for those of you who maybe want to work in accounts, I'm sure you'll know what CIMA is, but it's a widely recognised qualification which will mean you're qualified as a management accountant. And so to apply for this one, you need at least 3 A-levels, grade B or above, including business studies. But what I would say, if you are studying your A-levels and you're looking at these opportunities, thinking, oh, I'd really like to do that, but my A-levels maybe not quite in the same subject. If you want to, still go on, you can make an application. It's myself and my team who will review your application, and we take a sensible approach, and we have to have guidance from the university about what qualifications are accepted. But if you want to go on and maybe you're studying economics or maths, then you can still make an application, but obviously in your cover letter, explain why you want to work in the business. Really try and stress that during your cover letter as well. Okay. So they're the commercial undergraduate apprenticeships, and again, they're available to apply online at the website. For these apprenticeships, just to let you know, the recruitment process is obviously quite different to the craft recruitment process. You'll make an application online. You will then be shortlisted, so we'll review your CV and make sure that your CV and cover letter show that you've got the entry requirements, you've shown why you want to work for Airbus, why you want to choose that for your career. You know, it's really good when candidates can not just tell us facts and figures about Airbus, which is good because that demonstrates your knowledge and your interest in the aviation industry and the company, but also why you think you'd be suitable for the role. So what maybe softer skills you have. It doesn't have to be work experience. You don't expect you all to have work experience, but if you've done anything outside of schools, so any clubs, any societies, even hobbies that would show your interest or show that you've done something to try and develop yourself, and that's also really good. We really like to see those kind of things in cover letters. But yeah, really clear motivation for wanting to work for the company and also wanting a career in finance or in business support. Because the commercial ones, the business support industrialisation, you will be based on site in Broughton, which is quite, we have quite a lot of factories up there, but it is business focused and it's a really good opportunity to start your career. Again, just like the craft apprenticeships, it's a really good way of entry level into the company and organisation to really develop not only your education but also yourself in terms of professional development and personal development. That one. Sorry, just trying to get to the next slide. Oh, thank you. So, our supply chain hire apprenticeship. This apprenticeship has been running for quite a number of years, so some of you, especially in the schools, I'm sure will be familiar with this apprenticeship. So obviously working in such a large organisation, we have a huge supply chain function, and supply chain is really key to the business to deliver the wings for the UK, but also the aircraft overall. So it's really important area for the organisation. So for this particular apprenticeship, you'll gain a level 2 foundation apprenticeship and also an NVQ level 3 in logistic operations management. But not only will you gain your NVQ, you also can go through your SIPs, which is, as it says on the screen, the Chartered Institute of Purchasing and Supply, which is basically becoming chartered. So you can see how Airbus bring you into the organisation, not only just to provide your NVQ in terms of apprenticeship, but also take you on to become chartered, which gives you the professional qualification, again, to develop yourself personally and professionally throughout your longer term career. So to apply for this particular position, you'll need at least 2 A levels at grade B or above, including business studies. We also accept for higher supply chain a business BTEC at grade triple distinction. So it does hopefully provide a good entry-level position to the organisation. And again, just like I touched upon earlier on for the engineering undergraduate, the commercial undergraduate apprenticeships, it's really important that when you're making an application, you really explain to us why you want to work for the organisation, why you feel you'd be a good fit to the business, and also your interest in the area. We don't expect you to come in with experience of supply chain. If you've got anything like that, that's perfect, but if you haven't, it's just drawing on the experience that you have both in school, out of school, just to really try and draw on that experience to make it as relevant as possible to your application. And again, the application process for this is quite similar to the previous slide. So you make an application online, you'd then be shortlisted, and then the business would select their final candidates to come to a selection day. And the selection day can quite, I think, sound a little bit intimidating sometimes, but it's basically you'll come along to an event and you'll complete a group activity, which is often quite a fun activity, if I can say it, because it is obviously a recruitment day, so no doubt you'll be quite nervous coming along, but we try and make it as engaging a day as possible, so you complete a group activity and also an interview. Also at the selection day, you'll get an opportunity to meet current apprentices, and those apprentices can hopefully share with you what it's really like to be in supply chain or in finance or as part of the business support undergraduate programme. And hopefully when Jim and Eric talk to you a little bit about the craft programme later, you'll get a really feel for what it's like to be in the organisation, because it's okay for me to sit here and tell you what a great career step it is. And obviously I love working for Airbus, and I've obviously developed my career from when I first started, but hopefully by getting through to the selection days, you'll get to meet with current apprenticeships and really find out a little bit more about what it's like to really be on the programme and the kind of support you get during that programme from the training team, etc. Okay, so our engineering undergraduate apprenticeship. So this again is a sponsored degree, obviously within engineering. So you complete a BEng in aerospace engineering. I think in Broughton mainly following manufacturing pathways, but also in Filton you can apply to follow the engineering design pathways. But you still get the BEng in aerospace engineering. You'll also complete a professional qualification. So just like for supply chain, you complete your SIPS or CIMA. For finance, you'll also see for engineering, you'll get an iEng level qualification, which is internationally recognised. So to apply for this area, you'll need at least 2 A levels, including B or above in maths, and C or above in physics. And you'll need a minimum of 6 GCSEs or equivalents also to support your application. Again, when you're applying online, obviously submit your CV in terms of your education, your experience you've got, but also tell us about why you're passionate about the company, why you're passionate about the industry. Do you keep up to date with changes in the organisation, changes in the industry? Are you a member of any relevant societies? It's things like this that will really give us an insight into why you want to join the engineering programme, and also things like any hobbies you have. So if it's I know a lot of people apply and they've got experience just helping around the house, or getting some work experience, taking things apart, putting them back together, that kind of thing. Anything outside of just going to school and coming home, it's really good to try and share that as part of your application as well. And again, for this particular selection, basically you'd apply online, then go through testing phase. So the testing days, you'll be exempt from the testing days for engineering undergraduates if you have already achieved grades B or above in maths and physics. If you're on predicted grades, you'll be invited along to a test day, or if you have a grade B in maths and a C in physics, you'll come along to the testing day. The testing days are held at our local colleges, just as they are for Craft, where you'll come along, you'll get to meet the recruitment team, and we'll also put you through a test which lasts just over an hour. And that's really just to ensure that you have the right level of education to ensure you can get through the whole degree. It is quite an intense apprenticeship. So in Broughton it's 3 years long, and in Filton it's going to be 4 years long, but you will undertake the degree and also have the work experience. So what's really beneficial, and when I speak to our current apprenticeships, what's really brilliant about undertaking an apprenticeship route to complete this degree rather than just going to university is that they're going to university learning kind of the technology and the engineering, but they're also able then to go back into the workplace and apply that as they're learning. So it really helps them. By the time they come to finish their degree, they're kind of ready, they're already ingrained in the workplace, they're already utilising the skills that they're learning during the time at university. So it is a really good option, and again, the fact that your course fees are all paid for, you won't be leaving university with any debt. Not only will you be undertaking the degree and getting the work experience, but you'll also be getting a salary. So again, the starting salary starts at just under 15,000 for entry level, and obviously then that'll quickly progress as you become more qualified and experienced within the organisation. Okay, so hopefully I've covered everything. I know it's a lot of detail and some apprenticeship programs might not be relevant or of interest to you, but I've tried to cover everything today. You can see there all of our contacts, so for Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, also our email address, so apprentices@airbus.com. So if you've got any questions or queries that we didn't get through today, I know after today we'll send out a link to make sure that we cover all the questions that maybe we didn't get time to get through today. So anything that's outstanding, please email us at apprentices@airbus.com. Obviously you can go online to apply at jobs.airbusgroup.com. But what I would say is if you're not sure how you want to start your career, what you want to do, you could go onto our website. You can read a lot more in-depth detail about what it's like to be an apprentice. We've got some case studies of people who've undertaken our apprenticeships and want to share a little bit about you on the website, a bit about themselves on the website. So hopefully that really gives you a feel for what kind of tasks and what the apprenticeships actually involve on a day-to-day basis. So I would say go to the website. If you are interested, make that application. Don't be put off by thinking it's going to be too competitive or the recruitment process will be too hard. Make your application, and it's myself and my team who review all our applications. It's not a robot or an automated system that will reject you or put you through to the next stage. So it is somebody looking at your application, considering it, and looking at the qualifications you have and where you might fit within our business and organisation. They are really good programs for starting your career across all areas, from craft through to the undergraduate sponsored degrees. So yeah, I would just recommend that you go online, make your application, and like I say, my team and myself who will guide you through each step of the recruitment process. Okay.
That's fantastic. Thank you very much, Rachel. There's a lot of really, really great information there. Thank you for the questions that you've been chatting in, and we received a few beforehand as well. So there's a lot of information for you to take in, and bear in mind that we can send you through the slides afterwards, so you've got a second chance to digest everything. Thank you, Claire, for your question. You asked, are BTEC qualifications level 3 considered as A-levels for undergraduate apprenticeships?
Yeah, so again, yeah, we do for engineering undergraduate apprenticeship. It has to be a level 3 qualification in engineering, and also for the higher supply chain, we consider it a business BTEC level 3, a triple grade distinction. Again, what I would say is if you're studying a BTEC and maybe you feel like it's not exactly engineering, it could be electrical or maintenance, then also I would say go on, make your application, because we will review that on a case-by-case basis. But we do now, this year is the first year we have accepted BTECs as equivalents to A-levels for the undergraduate programs.
Okay, fantastic. So a couple of other questions we had through from the schools were, do you pay for university fees if you have students on apprenticeship?
Yes, we do. That's, I think, one of the main really brilliant points about the apprenticeship programs, especially the sponsored degree programs. So there you're talking about the business industrialization program and also the engineering undergraduate programs, is that in fact you will achieve a full degree, but you won't be left with any debt, that the company will pay for all your course fees. So for engineering, we work with Swansea University and the University of the West of England at the moment, and also Chester University for our commercial degrees. So they are, recognised universities in the UK that offer those degrees.
Okay, fantastic. And you have touched on the different apprenticeships that you have running at the moment, and the grades that you need to achieve those as well. So those are all available, and they're also available online as well.
Yes, they are, yeah.
Okay, so once you have become an apprentice and gone through that, what kind of career progression would you say is involved as well? Opportunities?
So much opportunity. It's really, obviously, it depends on the individual, because the individual, we are responsible to some extent for driving our own career, but the whole idea of bringing apprentices into the business, putting them through a degree, putting them through all the qualifications, obviously, there's quite a large cost to Airbus in terms of doing that. So the idea is to really nurture people, teach them skills, and some people might want to stay within their particular area and become an expert, and other people will want to join the business, do their apprenticeships, a really good entry-level qualification, and then grow their career, progress their career. I think there's a statistic at the beginning of the presentation that said like 70% of our managers start as apprenticeships and go on to become senior managers. There's also a lot of senior managers who will work in different areas. So I know the head of HR used to work in engineering and vice versa. There's lots of, not just in the area you come into, there's lots of different careers you can have within one organisation, because it is such a huge organisation.
Okay, thank you very much, Rachel. We've got some more questions coming through now as well. Glenn Clwyd, welcome. And you've asked, could you give us an idea on salaries for different roles within Airbus?
Yep, so the craft salary now starts at £13,405. And the undergraduate programmes start at 14,987, so just under 15,000. They do progress quite quickly once you become qualified. So the undergraduate ones then will quickly progress from around about 15,000 up through the 20s quite quickly. And again, the craft after their time will progress quite quickly salary-wise as well, because you're not just gaining qualifications that are recognised in Airbus, you're gaining internationally recognised qualifications as well with really good skill sets.
Fantastic.
Progression.
Thank you very much. And we had a question from Alad asking what the outlook is following Brexit. I think I'll just answer that myself. And say it's still positive, business booming still.
Yeah, we had. I remember when it all happened back in the summer, and we had apprentices who were under offer and then joining in September. And I think there was initially a little bit of worry or concern. If you look at the amount of employees in the UK, but not also at the investment that Airbus are making in the UK, we've just spent millions on a new research facility down in Filton, and Airbus Division Defence and Space. I know in Stevenage they just opened a new space research centre. So the amount of money that we've got, not just invested in the UK, but also with supply lines and stuff like that, we are really strong in the UK.
Fantastic. Okay, so thank you very much for those questions. You'll get some opportunity to answer a few more again shortly. Yeah. We're just going to introduce
Jim and Eric?
Yep, Jim and Eric to you, so come on over. welcome. Hi, Jim. Hi, Eric.
Hello.
Thank you so much for coming in today. Would you just like to say a little bit about the types of apprenticeships that you're doing at the moment?
Yep, so my name's Eric and I'm currently a craft apprentice at Airbus in Broughton. So we're in our third year now. It's a 3-year programme at Broughton. So we're currently working on shop floor within a department known as long range equipping. This is where all the fuel systems get fitted, hydraulic lines and outside structure, external structure gets fitted to the wings, such as flying controls. So, like I said, we've been 3 years now. The first year is all based in college, Deeside College, College Cambria. Second year, you come onto site and you work then with the departments around the factory, and you move around different areas on 6-month rotations. So you get a real feel of all the different areas within the business, what it's like to work in them.
Yeah, I'm Jim, I'm 25 years old and I'm on the same apprenticeship that Eric's on, so the Aerostructures Craft Apprenticeship. Same year as Eric as well, 3rd year, and absolutely love the apprenticeship, it's fantastic. We've done several placements while we've been there. We've worked on the A320 wing sets in the jigs, and we've also worked on A330 in the jigs as well as doing this final current placement where we're on the equipment side of things. In the jigs, it's mainly focusing on the structural side of building the solid of the wing itself.
Thank you very much, that's great. Do you have any sort of advice you could give maybe on when you applied, how you found the application process, just in case there's a couple of people that might be nervous, and I know we've spoken about it before and you said it was straightforward and you had a lot of support. So.
Yeah, no, the application process itself I found to be quite, I wouldn't say easy, but I would say straightforward, and I found it I'd say comfortable in the sense that certainly the application itself was quite easy, and then going through the steps, I felt it was very fluid movement through the steps, and I felt I knew where I was at all times through that application process.
Okay, lovely. And would you like to just share which schools you were in before you applied for your apprenticeship as well?
Yep, so I went to Harden High School, so it's only maybe 2 miles away from the site itself.
Yeah, and I went to Argoid High School.
Fantastic, thank you. And we have questions coming in asking how often you get holidays and what kind of pay you have as well.
Yeah, so like Rachel said, the pay for the craft apprenticeship starts at roughly 13,000, and it'll progress then each year when you pass your quality gates, which are the stepping stones as you go through the apprenticeship. So we're currently somewhere around 16,000. This is the 3rd year, slightly different for the new starts. So yeah, it's well worth it. A viable opportunity to work within one of the largest companies, certainly in Flintshire.
Excellent. Thank you very much. I'm just keeping an eye on some questions coming through into the chat box. So, yep, I think Luke's asked, have you enjoyed the apprenticeships? And I know you've answered that yes. You did give me some interesting information on the kind of other activities that are involved in, apart from your apprenticeship route. You get other opportunities within the company as well. Would you like to share those too?
Yeah, certainly in the 1st year of the apprenticeship, we attended Outward Bound, which is essentially a week in the Lake District, where you complete loads of team building activities. It was an absolutely brilliant week. I really enjoyed myself. I know I'm certainly sure everyone else did that was there as well. We climbed
Scarpel Pike. You're there with German and French apprentices as well, so it's not just the UK-based apprentices. There's apprentices come up from Filton as well as Germany and France, sites that we have there. Yeah, speaking about Germany, actually last year in the summer we went out to Bremen, which is where our A330 and A350 wing sets get sent after they've been finished in Broughton. So we spent 2 weeks out there working on the supply line out in Bremen, ready to then equip those wings finally. The last little bits and pieces get added out there. So yeah, as Rachel was saying before about the opportunities available at Airbus, even as an apprentice, you get chances to go out, work abroad. We know that some of our fitters that we work with on a day-to-day basis, they've just been sent out to Bremen for a few weeks. So there's plenty of opportunity to travel if you want to do it.
That's fantastic, thank you. So it's great to hear about the opportunities travelling as well, and some of the fun activities that you get to do too. Thank you very much, Claire. We have another question from you. Say, what is the girl-boy ratio on apprenticeships currently? So this might be one for Rachel.
Yeah. There is a mix, and over the years we've seen a massive increase in women in engineering as well, and that's a lot to do with what Helen works on with some of the projects and going into schools and encouraging people like it doesn't matter about your nationality, your race, your age, your gender. You go through the same application process, you have the same opportunities, and we are seeing a massive increase in girls in engineering, particularly I would say craft as well. I know we had a number of female craft employees join this year in September, and also for our engineering undergraduate programme, I think this is one of the highest years that we've had female applicants and also female coming through the end process to be offered and join the business as well. So it's really encouraging.
That's fantastic, thank you, Rachel. And I know that if you have a chance to pop onto the Airbus website as well, you will see case studies there which will show you, girls as well as boys doing fantastic things and interesting jobs as well. So if you want to chat any more questions through, we've got a little bit more time for a few more questions, and I can see more coming in at the moment, so bear with me as they complete and we can see them our end as well. Okay. You guys, what kind of made you want to become an engineer?
Well, I think I've got some family that work in Airbus, and it was speaking to them, and I also did a little bit of work experience at Airbus as well. And it was sort of from that time, being in there, seeing the wings being made, and seeing how good of a company that Airbus was. That's when I thought to myself, yeah, this is what I want to pursue as my career. Just as a little side note, I applied. I made one application, got through to, it was a slightly different application back when I applied at the testing stage. I wasn't successful, so I tried again the following year, and that's when I managed to get through onto the apprenticeship. So I would say that even if you aren't successful this year, certainly try again next year, because that is the main thing to remember.
Yeah, excellent. I'd say that as well. Definitely keep trying, and it's worth pursuing that if that's what your real dream and wish is. So, thank you, Glenn Clewid. You've asked how many apprenticeships will be available this next year at Airbus.
I'll stand here for a little bit. I think this year, last year we took over 100 just in Broughton. This year across Broughton and Filton, we expect to recruit around about 140 apprentices. So across lots of areas, and I feel like sometimes people can see us as a huge organisation, which we are, but that sometimes can put people off applying because they feel like I haven't got a chance of getting through, or it's so difficult. But hopefully, as talking to you today has hopefully relieved those fears, and just to say, go online, make an application, and hopefully these guys have made you feel a little bit more reassured that we do help you for every stage of the process. For anyone who requires adjustments through the process as well, is a really good point to bring up on, because I think sometimes people can be reluctant to ask for adjustments, but we can obviously do that as a large employee. We do that and we encourage that, so just share those with us. But yeah, I would say just go online, make your application, and we have lots of opportunities available across a wide variety of areas.
Okay, fantastic, thank you, Rachel. And how many people do you get applying for the apprenticeships?
Quite a lot. But again, so this year, it's hard to say across all areas because they are coming in thick and fast. Yeah. Obviously, our closing date is 17th of February. Mm-hmm. We get hundreds of applications. But again, the figures don't always represent the people who've got the right entry requirements who maybe will come out of the first stage. So I feel I wouldn't let the fear of it being too competitive put anyone off making an application, because we have such a wide variety of opportunities, and these guys already touched upon, people sometimes apply to us, maybe won't get through every stage of the application process, but will reapply. Last year we had a number of people who've joined who'd applied once or twice before. And again, I met somebody last Saturday at the testing day who came through the application process for craft last year, passed these tests but didn't quite pass the video interview stage, just because I think nerves got the better of him and he wrote too many notes, he said, and I think it distracted him from doing the actual activity. And I feel like all the way through the recruitment process, we obviously want to find out that you've got the right skills and behaviours and educational and standard, but we also want to find out more about you, why you're passionate about the industry, why you want to work for our company. So it is a formal recruitment process, but we also try and make it as engaging as we can, because we also want to share with those candidates applying what it's like to be part of the Airbus workplace, what it's like to be the culture, and that's why we use videos like the one we used at the beginning to really try and share a bit more about the culture and the organisation that we work in.
Okay, thank you very much. So, hi Sian, you've asked what are the hours of a working day? So maybe.
Yeah. So for a craft apprentice, you start at 7:45 in the morning, which sounds horrible when you just come out of school and you're starting at 8:30 or 9. But it's not bad. You get used to it, and then you finish at 5. The advantage of that is you get the Friday off, so it's a long weekend, 3-day weekend, which I'm going to miss when we come out of our time and go on the shifts. But
Great, thank you.
The first year is slightly different. When we were in college, we did 7:45 till 4 Monday to Thursday, and then 7:45 till 12 on the Friday. So that was the only difference is in that first year.
Yeah, and for the commercial programmes, so people may be being a little bit more office-based, our normal working week is 35 hours a week, and you can finish on from 12 on a Friday, obviously depending on your work commitments and the hours that you've already completed that week. So that's really nice. The Friday afternoon is a definite bonus for Airbus, isn't it?
Sounds great, lots of happy faces. Yeah. Thank you very much for all those questions. I think we've got time for just one more, but we will try and answer as many other questions that are left, by email and send you the information through. So Joel has asked if the apprenticeships are part-time or full-time. They're all full-time, yep.
They're definitely full-time, doing the qualifications and also the work as well.
Yep.
Challenging.
Fantastic. And how many people get selected from the applicants?
So around about 140-ish this year, yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so thank you very, very much for everybody that's attended. I'd like to say a big thank you to Airbus and your team that's joined us today. Thanks Jim and Eric and Helen and Rachel as well. Thank you.
Make your applications.
Yeah, so don't forget to get those applications in, have a look at the website, and any information that you need, feedback to your teacher and we'll help. So we're just going to take you now to an exit poll. Thank you very much. So if you, just in front of you now, you'll see the final poll, and then we're going to close the webinar session down. If you don't mind scrolling down and answering those questions there, which gives us a bit of feedback. So there's 5 questions. So whoever's at the keyboard there, if you feed that back to your team, and they'll answer the questions for you, and you keep answering them. Scroll down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The final question is about applying for a craft apprenticeship at Airbus. We'll give you a little bit of time to fill those in, and thank you ever so much to all you schools that have joined in. It's been great. Okay, thank you. Lovely, we can see a lot of, practically everybody's answered those now. Brilliant, 2 more people. Yep, 15, just double checking. Fantastic, so thank you everybody, and we're going to close the webinar session down now. Bye. 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 Thank you.